your cowboy pal, old Jack Spade. Leather's strong, leather's true. He's got a howdy just for you. Howdy, you two parts. Howdy, you two.
Howdy, you two parts. Jack Spade back here with you, High Noon Leatherworks, for another leather adventure. And today, I'm going to do a simple little project that involves some black leather lace, and those are of different lengths. And then I have some pre-dyed black leather that's about, I'd say it's probably about 9 or 10 ounce. So it's pre-dyed, ready to go. And I'm going to use some rivets today, and I'm going to show you something that could be practical for you to use. So come on in and let's get started. All right, so what I have is, again, some pre-dyed leather and some lace that's black. So what I want to do is I want to use something to help me pack a bag for the weekend. And when I head off for the cabin or whatever for a couple of days, or if I'm going hunting, normally I'll just pack 1 or 2 outfits, or couple pairs of shorts, or a pair of pants and a couple of t-shirts to wear around the cabin while I'm not out in the woods. So this is my idea, is that I want to take this pre-dyed leather, and I want to make sure it's squared up, and I'll use my cutting mat with the grid on it. And I'm set up on the left hand side today, so I'll cut with my right. Try to keep my arm and my elbow out of your way. Alright, so there's a squared here and here, and then I think I want to go approximately 1 inch on these. So I've never done this before, so let's try 1 inch and see what that gets us. So I'm just going to put it back on my grid, cut me a strip at 1 inch. And then we got to figure out how long we need these. So let's just go ahead and take, again, these are all sizes, lengths, doesn't matter. You can customize them to whatever length you want them to be. So what I need to do is need to figure out, when I fold these over and put a rivet in there, I want these to be snug. I don't want them to be so tight that I have to yank on it. I want it to be snug where it won't slide out on its own. So there's one side. There's the other, and let's go ahead and mark it, and let's see what that length is. That's 4.5 inches. So I'll cut that at 4.5. Set that one aside. Now, I want to make sure that I get these holes where I want them for my rivets. So we'll start with one side and we'll go from there. We can always trim more off of the other side if we need to. And I am going to put 2 rivets in here, one on each side, or at the top and at the bottom, I should say. So I'll start by putting the holes in the top, cleaning those out. So there's my holes on the first side. Then I'll test fit this again for my rivets, because I do want my rivets to lay flat. But again, I want this snug. So now I can go on in here and I could either mark those somehow, or like this, I'm just going to go ahead and punch them through so I can see the other side. And then if I want them to be even, all I have to do is basically fold it over and do it to the other side the same way. That way I'm using the same exact holes. And it'll make it symmetrical to where everything lines up on each side the same. And hopefully that'll match up with our rivets just fine. So let's get out our hardware. And let's look at some 5/16 rivets. Perfect. So we'll use longer ones that I have. I'll need 4 of them for the complete project on this one. So I'll need 4 caps. And my setter. So let's go ahead and slide this piece of lace in there. I'm going to put that lace up against this fold as tightly as I can. Put that rivet on my anvil. Put me a cap on. Make sure it's pushed down nice and snug. And then go ahead and set that rivet. Do the same thing. on the other end. Now once you get that first rivet in there, it's going to make that second one a little snug, but it'll go. So there's the first side, or the first end. There's the finished side. Then all we want to do is put the lace on the other end, roll that over just like we did the first side, put in our rivet, and I know you can't see through my hand or my fingers, but there's just no way around that. Set my first rivet, find my hole for my second for that end, put my cap on, there's both ends done. So I just have 2 rivets on each end. There's the finished side, and then these should be snug enough that I can pull that lace through both directions, and it'll pull through, but it's snug. It's not just gonna work its way loose by itself. So there's one of them finished. Let me show you what the idea is for packing. I could take a t-shirt, and let's say I'm using a backpack and I want to get a couple of t-shirts and a couple of pairs of pants in there. I can roll the t-shirts and the pants snug. So the snugger, or the more snug that I roll those, the more I'm going to be able to fit in my backpack. If I slide that piece of lace over the top of that t-shirt and then push that leather slide down and snug those 2 pieces of lace, one on each side, now I've got a handy little clinch there that's going to hold that shirt closed. It's not going to puff back up when I stick it down in my backpack. That's a problem. I could roll them up, but then once I stuffed them down in my backpack or my suitcase, it wanted to pop back open. So as I loaded my suitcase, they just kept getting bigger and bigger. This way, holding that clinch, that leather clinch down on there, that's gonna keep those nice and snug. Reach down in your backpack, grab the lace, pull out whatever it is you want to pull out. Pull out your t-shirt, pair of shorts, long pants, whatever it is. So that's the idea behind it. Let me go ahead and grab another piece and let's make sure we have a long piece of lace here. And again, you can make these, you can cut them off, you can make them any size you want, depending on what it is that you're making them for. But let's go back to 1 inch. 1 inch worked out great. Let's cut another piece of this leather And you could probably use leather that is not as thick, and it would work just as fine. So there's another piece, 1 inch thick. And again, it was 4.5 inches long. So 2, 3, 4.5. We'll cut this one the exact same length because it worked out really well. Made it nice and snug. So we'll cut that one off the same way. And you could even make a pattern. If you're going to make a bunch of these, you could make a pattern out of poster board or cardboard, and that way you'd have your holes and everything in it that you wanted. But it's not really that critical. You just need to make sure that they're going to be snug enough. So I'll do this one the same way I did the other side. I'll put one set of holes in it. I'll fold it over. Make sure that's nice and snug. Mark those holes. Punch them out. Then I can do just like I did on the other one. I can fold it over. And mark them. Clean out my punch real quick. And by marking those, makes it nice and quick. To punch right through there. Now, I'll go with since I know it's the exact same thickness, I'll go with the same 5/16 rivets, and get my caps out. So grab 4 of those. Seems like for every 4 rivets I grab 1 of the caps. So we can go ahead, repeat the process. Come in here, put a piece of lace in the fold. Do the same thing to the other side. Put the other lace in. it over. And if you made a pattern, and you cut a bunch of these blanks, these 4.5-inch blanks, before you got started, you could make these pretty quick. So I think you could really go through these and punch a bunch of them out in a very small amount of time. And you could use these are be very utilitarian. You could use them for again, packing clothes. I know we have some friends that ride their motorcycle all the time, and they have saddlebags, and that's what they pack their clothes in. So they do the same thing. They roll them up, pack them real tight, put them in a saddlebag, and then that way they're not taking up so much room, and they can pack or take a lot more clothes with them that way. Because sometimes when you're on a trip like that, you don't have a laundry handy. Alright, let's take a pair of shorts. A pair of camo shorts. A little heavier duty than a t-shirt, obviously. And we'll do the same thing. We'll roll this up nice and tight, just like we did the t-shirt. Slide our lace in there. And then we can slide our leather clinch down. So we can make it nice and tight. Be very handy for backpacking. If you were hiking, take swim trunks, bathing suit, water shoes, whatever with you. You could use this for anything. You could put 2 or 3, 4, couple of pairs of water shoes in there and be able to keep those together and pack those in somewhere. So handy, quick, simple, easy, and it's going to be very useful. Alright, so I did a couple of those fairly quickly. I put one of them around the t-shirt, one of them around a pair of shorts, and again, you can cut these pieces of lace any length that you want. But I found already that this is very useful, and obviously it's reusable. You can slide this closure off and snug it down as many times as you need to. That'll stay nice and tight, and now you have a way to keep your packing simplified. Obviously it wouldn't be good if you were trying to pack some formal wear or anything, but as far as hunting, hiking, backpacking, anything like that, that'd come in real handy. Even packing a swim bag for the beach. So towels would be great. So very easy, very quick to make. Made it with some scrap lace and some scrap leather, a few rivets, and just a few minutes of my time. So appreciate you coming along, appreciate you watching. Come back next week, check out the next video. I would greatly appreciate that. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. And as I always say, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.
Now like old Jack Spade would say, don't forget before you ride away. Like, share, subscribe, keep the trail alive. I'll see you in the next one, parts. Till then, keep riding hard.